So we got the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Right? So we can use that to find the slope at any point on any curve. Alright, so we're going to start off with something kind of basic. Let's start off with a parabola here, y equals x squared. You guys know what that looks like. Just this parabola, right? Well, let's say I want to find the slope at x equals 3. So here's 1, 2, 3. So here's the point I'm talking about. What I want to know is I want to know the slope right there at that one point. Okay? So we're going to use this limit to figure that out. Yeah, Justin?
Do you only use the new slope on the new curves?
Yeah. Yeah, if you have a line, just use the old one. Yeah.
Okay.
Although you'll see it's pretty easy to. Well, you'll see, yeah. But this is specifically for curves, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this limit formula here now, and I'm going to rewrite this using the function x squared, right? Well, y equals x squared. We can say that's f of x, right? F of x equals x squared. Okay? Well, just like that problem you guys had on that worksheet, here's your f of x right here, right? So can we just plug that x squared in there? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do that. But dealing with the f of x plus h, that's a little bit more, pay close attention to this, okay? The f, this f here, of x plus h and f of x, the f is the same thing. It means apply this function to what's in parentheses. Okay, the function is whatever's in parentheses, okay, look over here, whatever's in parentheses, what are we going to do? We're going to square it, right? So that's what you do no matter what's in the parentheses.
So it would be x plus h squared.
Right, so we're going to take this x plus h that's in parentheses, and we're just going to square that whole thing. We're just applying the same function to the x plus h that we apply to the x. Alright? So now we have minus f of x we know is just x squared. And that's all over h, and we still have our limit here. Okay, so what do we do when we have a limit approaching a number? What do we try? Plug in. Now what happens when you do that? You get 0 in the denominator. So that means we've got some more work to do. It does not mean that it's no, it doesn't mean, whenever you get 0 in the denominator, some people are still doing this. They're jumping to saying that doesn't exist. Usually that's not the case, okay? So we got to do some stuff here. Now, we can't, there's not the factor, but we can FOIL. We can FOIL this, okay? That's really the only thing we can do, so let's do it, all right? So we got the limit as h approaches 0. If we FOIL x plus h squared, remember that's x plus h times x plus h. If you need to, write that next to each other. But it's going to be x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. That's what you get if you're going to FOIL that. Okay? Oh, look at that. Now we have a minus x squared here. All over h. What do you see now?
Your cross off
Squared.
X squareds cancel, right?
When you got plus
2hx. Yeah.
Take out the h.
Now that those x squareds are gone, we do have an h on every term, right? So because we have an h on every term, we can take that out or cancel it. So that will be the limit as h approaches 0. We're going to take an h out of everything. So we got 2x plus h over just 1 because we're taking that h out, right? As long as it's on every term, you can cancel it out. And it's on every term here. We have an h here, we have an h here, and we have an h here. As long as it's on every term, you can cancel. Another way to think about that, if that's confusing, another way to think about that is factoring an h out of the top, and then canceling it with the bottom. And then what you're left with is going to be this 2x plus h. Okay? Now what do you do? Yeah, now we can plug in, right? As soon as you can plug in, you plug in. So we plug in 0 for h, and we get 2x. Okay. What I wanted originally was find the slope at x equals 3, which is 6. plug that x in, okay? Now, so that's this little red line over here. The slope of that, if I drew this correctly, would be 6, okay? No, just 6. It's 2x, and we're plugging in 3, okay? Now, hold on one second. The nice thing about this is, for the function x squared now, we just did this, and we got 2x. You never have to do that again for the function x squared. I can say anywhere on there, what's the slope at -5? -10, right? What's the slope at 20? Is going to be 40, okay? So once you do it for the function, once you do all these steps for this function, and you have this slope in terms of x, 2x, that's the slope no matter where you are on the function. So you can plug in any point, any x value, and get the slope of that parabola at that x value, which is kind of nice, right? So anywhere on there. What's the slope at 100? 200. Okay? Okay, so anybody have any question on that?
Is that the lesson?
Part of it.
Part.
No, that's it. I'm going to do another example that's involved a little bit more, okay? Okay, so let's do...
So for any problem that we ever have with x squared, you just multiply the value by 2.
Yeah.
Now, when you say the slope
Yeah, okay, listen. Anytime you have this particular parabola, y equals x squared, then you can get the slope anywhere on that by multiplying 2 times the x value that the slope. Okay, I'm going to do one like that now, where it's a little bit. Yeah.
So the 6 over there,
Yeah.
that's the same like shape as the 6x. It's just without the x. Like on the
Okay, if you said the line y equals 6x, it would have that same slope. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's do one that's a little more involved. Let's say f of x equals, let's say 3x squared minus 2. All right.
Let's get into it.
So now that's our function. Now that's still a parabola, right? But it's this. The x values are going to kind of change now as far as how they affect the slope. Okay, so let's.
Wait, where do you want the slope?
Well, let's just do it, and then we can get the slope anyway. Okay. So the limit as h approaches 0 of. Now we're going to have. Let me just rewrite this: x plus h minus f of x over h. So remember, with the x plus h part, that's really the only tricky part of this. Just think of it as whatever's in parentheses goes in where that x is. Okay? So we're going to have the limit as h approaches 0. The f of x plus h means we're going to keep this 3. Now we're going to put this x plus h in where that x is and square that, and then keep that minus 2. Okay, it's just putting x plus h in instead of x. That's all it's doing. Okay? Always use parentheses when you do it. You're just putting x plus h in instead of x.
Meaning to put all of that in parentheses?
No. So we have f of x plus h there. We still need to minus f of x. Now this one I would put in parentheses because we're minusing and there's more than one term. Okay? So 3x squared minus 2, that's my f of x. And that's all over h. And now we just simplify what we can here. Okay? So the limit as h approaches 0. This again, this x plus h squared is going to be FOILed, right? So I've got this 3 outside still, and then that's going to be what we got before, x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. And now I have this minus 2. And now I got to distribute this negative over here, so minus 3x squared and then a plus 2. So right now we can, we can get rid of the 2's, right? Now notice how we're going to distribute this 3 here, so we're going to have a 3x squared. Yeah, this is all over h still, sorry. So I have a minus 3x squared over here. I'm going to have a positive 3x squared here. Those are going to cancel, right? Now I still need to distribute that 3. So I'm going to have 6hx plus 3h. Well, yeah, because it's a parabola, it's going to look the same. So they'll look different with different shapes.
No.
That's all over h, right? It looks similar to the other one. We have some other stuff going on. Dan, do you have a question?
What did you do to it?
Yeah, when you FOIL this, x plus h. So it's x plus h times x plus h. Did you FOIL on that?
That's what I think that's.
Well, okay, look, you guys, I'm doing that in one step, but if you don't know, then you should just write it twice and FOIL it. Okay, and then the middle terms combined.
Okay.
Alright, so that's always how that works, though. It's always how it works. Alright, so we have this now. The next step is to cancel an h, right? So if we cancel an h, we're going to have 6x plus 3h over 1, right? And now we can plug in 0, and we get 6x. So on this parabola here, you can get the slope anywhere on there by multiplying the x value by 6. So I said, what's the slope at 4? 24, right? What's the slope at -2? -12. So now we've done this parabola, and you never have to do this again. You have the slope for anywhere on there, okay? I'm going to give you one to do for homework.
Just one?
Yeah. I'm gonna give you
Awesome.
one. Actually, I'm looking at you.
No, you can give us
Why
one.
Quit blinding children. You're still recording, Fred.
Yeah, that's okay. So for homework, let me give you two functions here. F of x equals, let's say, 2x squared plus x. And f of x, we'll do x cubed just because that's a fun one to do.
Oh, Vegas.
F of x equals x cubed. So, okay, just do what we just did, okay, for those two functions, and then you'll be able to know the slope at any point on it, okay?
These are like half a page